All right, great Tuesday morning. How is everyone doing today? Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in this morning with our 15 minutes to mastery, where we like to get you and your day going with some information, inspiration, and motivation to make sure that you can attack the day as best as you possibly can, getting you set up right up here mentally with the right mindset, getting you focused so that you can attack the day. You can make the day happen for you as opposed to happening to you. It's the second day of month end week. And what is month end all about but about results, right? We want to know where we end up for the month. We want to know how many deals we actually got funded this month, and this week is where you got to make it count. Depending on, most companies, I would assume, have their month and week this week, right? And we want to get results. It's all about results. That's our one of our principles here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. We're results oriented, right? Because that's all that matters. Nothing else matters. Every day you're back at zero. Every day you're back at zero. That's one of the fun things about sales. It's a scary thing to most people to think that I got to do it again and I got to do it again. It's like Groundhog Day all over again, right? Just again and again and again. But that's the beautiful thing about it. But only if and when you're prepared to be able to handle it. If you can go about your business in the right way and be able to implement the right strategies. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about not just why feature benefiting is not enough. There must be more to it. There's another step to it. And as you can see on the graphic right there in bold red, it's about the tie down questions. We're going to talk about tie down questions this morning. If you're not familiar with what that is, you really need to pay attention. You really need to get this down, take some notes, and implement it into your sales process. So here we go, because you know what? Talk about results, right? And this is one of my favorite First Form shirts. Check this out. It says, founded on quality, built on service, measured on results. That's what you're measured. You as a housing consultant, as a sales leasing agent, as a community manager, as a regional, doesn't matter what position. If you are on the sales side of the business, you are measured only on your results. And that's where we want to get you. So that's why today we're talking about tie down questions. We hear all the time about feature benefiting. You got to be able to feature benefit. You have to be able to point out the features in the home and list the benefit to your customers. Perfect. Yes, that is huge. But if you're not tying it down, if you're not using a tie down question after the fact, you're not solidifying the value in whatever it is that you're presenting. And it's not just in feature benefiting, folks. You can use tie down questions through your interview process, because what the tie down question is about gaining commitment, right? And consistency in your whole process. But it's gaining the commitment. It's getting your customer to psychologically start agreeing with what it is that you are saying or presenting, right? Now, some people automatically, well, oh my gosh, there they go again. They're doing that salesman thing. They're playing tricks on people. And no, you've got to keep one thing in mind. Remember, we do not cold call anyone. We are not convincing anyone to come and see about buying a home when they weren't thinking about it. None of you are. No, I can almost guarantee 99.9999% that you do not cold call anyone, because the people that you are contacting are simply the people that have contacted you, or they've contacted your company in one way or another, either through some form of marketing, some form of advertising, whether they went online and they submitted their information through a form. They always have contacted you first. So if they are on the phone with you, if they are in person in your office, or they're virtually online with you, they are wanting to see about purchasing a home. So by you using these tie down questions to get the customer to start agreeing with you, you're simply getting them to agree with what they already had in mind. You're just pointing out things to them that they may not have been even aware of, right? Think about it. How many times has that happened to you when you're out doing something, you're out looking at possibly purchasing something, and the individual that you're dealing with points out something you even had no idea about. You're like, "Oh wow, yeah, that makes sense." Right? It's the same thing. Now, Robert Cialdini, who is an author on sales books, influence psychology, right? In his book Influence, he talks about the tie down questions and the reason for them, right? And again, it's about establishing that value. It's about establishing the commitment from the customer to what it is you're pointing out. Okay. Now, what is a tie down question? I'm going to show you a couple here on the screen of some sample tie down questions. Okay. Maybe something like, wouldn't you agree? It's questions that your customer will start to say yes to, right? When you start, let's talk about in the interview process, and you ask them about what they're looking for in a home, and they start talking to you about, certain features, certain things that they're wanting in a home, and let's say, for instance, a kitchen island, right? And you say, okay, well, kitchen island, perfect. Now, we've got the islands that have the bar top where you could put some bar stools on one end, and you could use the bar top in the mornings. Maybe the kids can use the bar top as opposed to using the dining room table. Saves them time. You don't have to always be cleaning up the dining room table. You've got it all right there. It makes it a little more convenient. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, I would agree. It does make it more convenient. All right. Another one. You can see the benefit in that, can't you? When you start talking about things that they were talking about, maybe they're important to them is saving money on their utility bills, and you start pointing out the fact that you have low E thermal pane windows, vinyl thermal pane windows in your home, and the dollar or maybe the LED lights in your home, or the insulation factors, whatever it is that your home has that will save them the money. And if you can associate money to it, it saves you X amount per month. That means you'll be saving so much per year. You can see the benefit to that, can't you? Yes, of course, I can see it. I'm just getting you to agree with the fact that it is something that benefits you. It is something that you were looking for. But again, I'm getting you to agree. Now, another one. If you could X, right? If you could blank, would you? If you could have this home that has these cabinets with this style of cabinet that you were looking for, would you? Right? It's already something they told you they were looking for. You're just, again, getting them to agree. And you're helping them along the process to what they came to see you about, which is purchasing a home. You're simply making it a little easier for them. You're getting them out of their own way, like we talk about all the time, and helping them move forward with the decision they came to make anyway. They came to make a decision to buy a home. It's just which home. That's it. It's not whether or not to buy a home, because they're not there to figure out whether or not they want to buy a home. They're there because they want to. They're there because they want to, or they think they can. That's it. You have to keep that in mind. So all you're helping them do is make the decision on which home they're going to be purchasing. That is why we use tie down questions. That is why it's so important that you start to, if you don't use it now, you start to implement that into your sales process, into your feature benefit process, into your closing process, every process, even on the phone, when you're talking with these folks, you want to make sure that you're using tie down questions, because that is going to get them moving forward with the decision that they wanted to make in the first place. Now, How does this help you? One, right? It helps to build the rapport. Plain and simple. Okay. You're creating this pattern that your potential home buyer is going to be, they're just agreeing with you, right? Not in their head, yes, saying yes. Okay. And in their subconscious, again, they're simply buying into the fact of what they came in to do. And so it's less likely that at the end they will tell you no. But if you go all along through this process, right? Let's say that they came in, you go through your whole interview process, you're asking, you're going through everything, you're finding out what they need, you're finding out why they're doing it, but you're never getting them to say yes to questions throughout the whole sales process, presentation. And then when it comes down to asking for the business, well, now it's easier for them to tell you no because they weren't in a yes mode. They weren't in their subconscious already conditioned to agreeing to the things that they already came in to do in the first place. So the first actual decision making question that you presented to them is whether or not they want to buy the house. Well, of course not. Most times they're going to tell you no, because you haven't built that rapport, because you weren't asking them questions that allowed them to agree with you. The first question you asked them to agree with you on was about buying a house, about making the commitment to move forward with purchasing the home. Of course, that's a huge question to ask someone, and they're going to tell you no most of the time. Because now that's where you start getting I want to think about it. I got to talk to so-and-so. I've got whatever it is, right? And that leads me to my next step, because of the fact that you're asking these tie down questions and they're telling you yes to these. Now you're eliminating some of these objections. You get a person that comes in that tells you they have their spouse, right? But they're on their own. Let's say my wife went in to go see you about buying a home. You know, you ask about family, and she tells you she's married. She asks about the husband. You hopefully will ask, are you here to go ahead and purchase, or are you just here to look at the homes? Is he going to have to be involved in this? And at that point, if she tells you, yes, I'm here to make the decision, well, then you've eliminated the opportunity for that to be an objection. Now, can it happen? Yes. And that's where you've got to be prepared for it, right? By simply coming back and saying, hey, well, let's discuss this a little bit. Because remember, inside, when I asked you if you were here to make the buying decision, you said yes. So what has changed, right? Now you can address that up front. But more than likely, if she already told you, or he already told you, yes, I'm here to make the decision, I'm making it, so we don't need to contact him or her. He or she is not going to have to be involved. Correct. If you press on those questions up front, well, hopefully it's going to come up at that point in time, and so you avoid the opportunity for these objections to come up. So you're building rapport. You're getting them to subconsciously buy into what they're already wanting to do. You're eliminating potential objections down the road, right? And it also ensures that your whole process, your whole presentation is more of a conversation, because sometimes we, as housing consultants, as sales professionals, tend to dominate the conversation. We tend to want to just be blah, 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 talking to this, talking about that, and just dominating that conversation. But you asking these questions, now it becomes a true conversation. You build more trust, you build more rapport, you edify yourself as a true professional. And so it's not an interrogation, it's a conversation. And that's why it's so important that you start to implement a feature benefit tie down. Think about it. Think about a feature that you point out in the home, whatever it may be, right? Let's talk about vents up in the ceiling, upflow vents, right? You've shown them some homes that have vents on the floor. You're in one, it's got the upflow. But hey, let me point this out. I don't know if you noticed, but this actually has what we call upflow vents up in the ceiling. Now, the advantage to that one, you have small children, you don't have to worry about anything being placed down into the vents on the floor. Also, furniture placement. You can place your furniture, move your furniture around as often as you want, and not have to worry about covering any of these vents and possibly disturbing the airflow within your home, making it less comfortable. You could see the benefit in that, couldn't you? Yes, I could. Or would you even consider, right? Would you even consider not purchasing a home purchasing a home that didn't have these in here? Of course I wouldn't. Right. But I'm agreeing with you that it is a benefit. It is something that I'm looking for. Feature, benefit, tie down. Tie down. Do not forget that. Start to use it in your presentation, in your sales process, in your feature benefiting, in everything that you do, so that you can start to build that subconscious agreement with the decision that your client came in to make in the first place. And if you need more help with that, reach out to us here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. That's what we're about. Hey, that's why we also do our daily Zoom training. Okay, we have daily Zoom training with our current and former students. It's accessible to all of you. They come in, we're in there every day, Monday through Friday, to do some training. Every first and third Wednesday of the month, we do role-playing calls in the evening as well. And on the fourth Wednesday of the month, we do a goals and accountability call. All of that is the added support that you get with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, because we want to make sure that we help you take your life, your business, your career to a whole new level. That's what we're about. You guys have a great Tuesday. We'll be back in here tomorrow with another 15 minutes to mastery. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We've put out a whole bunch of other content on there as well. But if you are in the retail space, if you are in the manufacturing home community space, and if you want to see your sales team perform at an elite level, raising volume, raising production, raising revenue, profits, maybe you've got a whole bunch of park-owned inventory you need moved, and you want to help your team get those sold a lot quicker, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. And that way we can work together to make that happen. All right. Manufactured Home Sales Mastery is here for you because, again, we're results oriented. That's all it's about. Results are the matter. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go out there, kick some butt, have a strong finish to the month, and we will be talking to you again tomorrow at 8:15 Central Standard Time. Until then, I can't wait to meet you.